Truck Month is back at Denoyer Chevrolet, and we're unveiling a deal like never before. Put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2014 Silverado LT Double Cab. All the comfort you like, all the power you need for just $269 a month. Get the advantage of Denoyer's huge selection, quality service, and our exclusive Tires for Life program. Find new roads at Denoyer Chevrolet, Stadium Drive, Kalamazoo, or scroll our lot at denoyer.com.
$7:53 WKZO News Time. Yesterday, big day around Kalamazoo, and someone who can now take a deep breath here, at least until the next task comes around. Blaine Lam, race manager, executive director of the Kalamazoo Marathon. Fourth edition of that, Blaine, 35th of the Borgess Run for the health of it. And I'll tell you, other than one little glitch, and hopefully that is all right as well, everything turned out great.
Yeah, we had a great day, and I assume. Why don't you tell me what the glitch is, and I'll tell you how it was resolved.
I'll tell you what. We got a report that a runner got bumped by a car at a stadium in Michigan, but it sounded like it was minor and that everything was okay.
Yeah, it was. I talked to him on the phone. He's a real nice man from Chicago. He was trying to run his 27th barefoot marathon this year, and he started off with the half marathoner, so he is 20 minutes behind the pack, and even though we had police officers at the intersections and he saw them, a woman coming home from church saw him too, but kind of scraped him. They took him to the hospital because, you know, when you're out there and exerted, you don't know. So he went to the hospital. Turned out he was fine, and we're going to let him in next year for free, and we'll work it out.
Very nice. Very nice. I have to tell you, well, from our vantage point here at 590 WKZO, everything sounded like it was going great guns. Do you have any final numbers on the number of participants?
Yeah, the number that you have on your site, and by the way, congratulations to KZO for all the tremendous coverage of it live all the way through, interviewed all the winners and had human interest stories. Even got a shot of a man proposing to his girlfriend on the finish line. And just you guys did a tremendous job, and the number you had is just a little over 8,500, which is it's going to prove to be the largest one we've ever had. And against the backdrop of this brutal winter, we're just pleasantly surprised that people turned out the way they did. And it wasn't just the participants. The people who came across the finish line couldn't believe the support they got. A woman said, "Look, I've run New York, I've run Chicago. I never get better crowd support than I get here." And those were the kinds of things that make us appreciate that this is a community event.
Well, and we're talking with Blaine Lam, who's the race director, of course, of the Kalamazoo Marathon. That was something that Brian Reynolds mentioned as well in his when he was talking about it. He said the fan support was just pushing him on. We talked about it before the race too, Blaine, and that is we are kind of unique in the amount of community involvement and the variance and all of the fun things that are going on. And it just can't help but grow next year when and what's going to be fun in the 5th is now you've had Brian has won 2 and Justin's won 2, so now we got the duel for the top spot coming up.
And they're both tremendous individuals. I'll be talking to them and seeing what they're thinking, but they're great. I call them kids, but they're great young men. And then, as you know and reported, Justin's wife Melissa won the female marathon.
Yes, she did, and it was mentioned by Mike Klein. It was our guy at the start finish line, and he said that you could tell Justin fell back so that Melissa could cross the finish line by herself, and that was a really classy act, and I know Justin's going to be pointing towards this again next year. I can't imagine that he's not going to look forward to this, and everybody we talked to said all around it was a great show from top to bottom.
It's I just hung up from a man from Memphis, and I've talked to people from Georgia and Tennessee and California and Colorado, and a woman said, I'm from Boulder, Colorado, which is where I grew up. She said, Boulder should be more like Kalamazoo.
All right.
She just loves the way this community embraces the sense of community.
Well, and I think it's because it starts at the top with you and your committee and your organization and goes right down to with all the volunteers and everybody who comes out, even the Fruit of the Loom guys who were out yesterday in the Winchell neighborhood. It's just, you're right, it's a community event, and I think it really does a good job of representing Kalamazoo. So I have to ask you before we let you go, how much downtime do you get now?
Well, today we're communicating. First of all, we've got a race committee of 45 people. We're thanking them. A few people went away they forgot to get their age division awards. We're doing that. So we'll work hard this week, and we take 1 week off. Then we bring together our community advisory council on which Mike Klein sits. We pull together our race committee before the end of the month, and we really have to work hard in July and August because it's actually August 1st that we open up registration for next year, and so we have to do things like make decisions like we did last year on the 10K, how everything's going to fit together. So the next couple of months are real busy, and then we get a couple months that are less busy, and then about the first year it really starts picking up again. Well,
I will tell you from my standpoint, nobody does it better than you guys. You are awesome, Blaine, and you and your committee. Everybody else, and pat on the back to Kalamazoo. You guys did a great job. I hope you get that, take a deep breath here at some point in time, and then be right back at it. Blaine Lam, race director of the Kalamazoo Marathon. Bravo. Another great job. It was just fantastic, and we can't wait till next year.
Good. Thanks for your support.
Good.